Hello, I'm Amara Jones, and welcome to Caffeine TV, your daily video news brief. Here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. The first number up today is 2003. That's the year in which the federal government instituted a ban on racial profiling amongst federal law enforcement agencies. But apparently, that 11-year-old ban didn't take. That's because later today, Attorney General Eric Garner will announce a new prohibition on racial profiling at the federal level, but with 2 key exceptions. The first is at the nation's borders, where people of color and face increased scrutiny as they attempt to cross the nation's physical borders and enter through its ports and airports, but it also won't apply to local law enforcement. And local law enforcement over the past 11 years is where racial profiling has been off the rails, such as in New York, where 5 million people have been subjected to stop and frisk. 8 out of 10 of them are people of color, and only 5% of those have resulted in an arrest. But these loopholes will remain open even as they've contributed to the spate of recent shootings of black men at the hands of police. And until these loopholes are closed, it's hard to see how this latest ban will hold. The next number up today is 5. That's the number of prominent members of the Republican Party who've either come out against explicitly or raised serious questions about the grand jury's decision to not indict in the Eric Garner case. In that case's aftermath, the latest is John Kasich, who's Ohio's governor and a potential 2016 presidential nominee for that party. He said on This Week yesterday that the fact that millions of people in this country don't have faith in their local police is unacceptable and something that we must change. His sentiments echo those of George Bush and another potential 2016 GOP presidential nominee, Senator Rand Paul, who said that Eric Garner's death was, quote, horrifying, but he somehow linked it to cigarette taxes. I don't know. But what's interesting is that the GOP was actually in the vanguard of creating the policies that helped to lead to these deaths. In the 1980s, along with the Democrats, they instituted the war on drugs, which militarized the police across the country in a way not seen in history, and also contributed to the arrest of millions of black and Latino men for petty, small crimes like selling drugs. But why the change? Well, first of all, these people quite clearly are human beings, and they're having a natural human reaction to something that is indeed horrifying. But it's also the case that the nation is hurtling towards becoming a majority people of color country. And if the Republican Party wants to remain a viable political party for the future, they're going to have to express views and on a wider spate of issues and perhaps even modify or change those views. So who knows whether or not these conversations will lead to any concrete changes, but the fact that they're taking place at all is actually excellent. The last number up today is 90, as in 90 days. That's the length of a sentence received by Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, back in 1988 when he was a 16-year-old. The Good Vibration singer was convicted of assault of 2 Vietnamese people, beating one unconscious and blinding the other after hitting them in the eye. But as the Daily Mail reports, Mark Wahlberg, the formerly bad boy who's now made good and is now worth $200 million, has applied for a pardon, saying that the continued presence of these past youthful crimes on his record reminds him of a person that he no longer is. But what struck me about this is, 1, he survived his police encounters, but 2, whereas for him this is a matter of conscience, for millions of other people, disproportionately black and Latino, who committed far less crimes, is actually a matter of survival. They can't apply for jobs or get federal education loans or even vote. And so perhaps Marky Mark does deserve a pardon because 16-year-olds do stupid things, but hopefully this entire experience will help him advocate for the pardoning of others.